Hey guys, thanks for watching the sketch. Doing something a little bit different to follow it up today and show you some of the presets that I used to write the sketch, to kind of get inspired to go down that rabbit hole, and show you some of the effects combinations I'm using and things like that. So hopefully it's helpful to you to kind of get a glimpse into how I'm stringing effects together, how they sound and show up in the context of the sketch, and maybe, some new effects or sounds that you want to mess with yourself. So for this part, I'm playing my Yamaha Revstar RSS02T, the burgundy red guitar you saw in the sketch. And we're running in stereo. I'm running out to a UA Dream amp so that I can defeat all the amps and cabs in here and kind of maximize the DSP space for effects. So when you do that, you get some blocks freed up to be able to use either more delays and reverbs or effects that take up more DSP power. So we're doing that here. The first sound that I made was this preset called Warble, and it's kind of leaning into this tape eater modulation effect that I came across. So it's a cool, kind of warbled tape saturator kind of thing. So you can hear the kind of fluttery, warbly, chewy, dark lo-fi thing happening, which I thought was really cool. And that's kind of what set me running on this track, this specific sketch. So from there, I added a little bit of overdrive before with this Minotaur at a pretty low gain setting. And then got a graphic EQ going on here. And this reverse delay at a fairly high mix, but I usually run reverse delays at full mix to kind of give a cool, swoopy, swelly ambient thing. But for this sound, I just wanted it to kind of come in sort of the back end of the effect and create some movement and motion there without losing the clean guitar. So I really like what this is doing to the patch. So you can hear it's kind of ducking in at the end in a cool way. So I've got that going on, and then I added this dynamic hall reverb at the very end, which I'm really a big fan of. There's some cool, this motion control gives it some kind of jittery movement to the reverb itself, which kind of adds to the fluttery lo-fi feel of this specific preset. So I've got that going on. And yeah, the combination of those just gave this cool kind of murky lo-fi thing that I was digging for the A section. From there, I created this stereo chorus preset that has, surprise, surprise, a stereo chorus towards the front here, with a compressor at the very front to kind of give a little more, dynamic assistance there. I used this patch with the blue Telecaster that I played for the kind of staccato-y lead things that came in the middle of the song. And then you have the stereo chorus that's happening. It's a pretty slow chorus, and it feels pretty mild, pretty subtle, but you kind of miss it if it's gone. So yeah, there's obviously more stuff going on here. We've got a delay, a stereo delay that kind of gives that left and right. So we've got a dotted half note on the left and a quarter note on the right. Kind of create that separation and movement there, rhythm in the delay. And then a plate reverb at the end, pretty low mix, but just enough to give it a little bit of ambiance. And yeah, I just kind of liked what that added to the staccato lead part. Like I said, the chorus was a cool sound that you kind of miss if you don't have it. Let's hear that A-B. Yeah, so just like a kind of a shimmery, sparkly, pretty patch that gives you the chorus, delay, reverb, pretty straightforward. So from there, we're going to go to something pretty different. This was the gain patch I used for the B section of the song for the big rhythm guitars. I'm calling thick, and that is based around this Vermin distortion that I found and really liked. Yeah, just a really cool, gritty distortion sound. I've kind of had to search for gain sounds that I like on Pod Go, but this one I pulled up, and for this specific moment of this track, it just worked perfectly. So that's what I'm starting off with here. Running it into a little bit of vintage digital delay, pretty low mix, quarter or eighth note for just almost like a slapback kind of thing, and then a little bit of room reverb too to fill it out. So for that part of the song, the B section, when you come in at this like wall of sound in the rhythm guitar, you're hearing this specific patch in the left, and then in the right, I multi-tracked, double-tracked this guitar, and the right side has a lower gain. I just dialed the gain down a little bit on this distortion, and I think I turned the delay off and dialed the reverb down a little bit too. So you get kind of a drier, lower gain sound in the right side, and then the more wet, fuller gain sound on the left side. And it just paired, I thought it paired really well to kind of give you that wall of sound in the rhythm guitar section. The next sound, the last guitar sound that I used was this Plate Plus patch that I made. It has a little bit of Minotaur overdrive at the start, a simple digital delay with a dotted quarter note, and then running into a Bucket Brigade delay with just a regular quarter note to give you kind of that like galloping delay sound. Let's turn this off. So I wanted to kind of cascade delays to help add to that ambiance, and then add in a really big, like pretty high mix plate reverb here to wash all that out. So when I'm doing that tremolo picking, I don't really want to hear the individual notes I'm hitting as much. I just kind of want to kind of cascade into this like wall of washiness for the lead part. So I thought that translated pretty well into the mix to another tone that I had to kind of dial in to find how it fit in the mix. It doesn't necessarily sound amazing all by itself, but what you'll find as you're like writing compositions and things is that you kind of have to find the tones that fit in the spots that they need to fit. And sometimes that means tweaking them so they don't sound great on their own, but maybe sound just right when they're tucked in the mix around everything else. So this is the Plate Plus patch that you heard with the tremolo picking. Yeah, and aside from that, those are the 4 guitar tones I used, and I added in one last preset here, which is basically just an SVT and the color drive overdrive or distortion here. So that was the bass tone I used. I wanted to keep everything coming from the Pod Go Wireless. So for the bass track, I used this preset. and it's just SBT normal channel into an 810. I didn't really tweak much of this at all, but I found the color tone, a color drive that I thought sounded great with bass. So save that preset, and there it is. All the sounds that I used on that sketch, you can go back and listen to it and kind of now hear in context what each of those sounds sound like. And hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully this is helpful to kind of get a look into how I'm creating sounds and presets on the Pod Go and how they're translating in the sketches that I'm writing. Hopefully too it might inspire you to find some new sounds yourself and dig into some new effects on Pod Go. Thanks for watching.